Do you know my favorite part is about the entire photography process? It is giving life to your photos. Let's get started. Hi, so the first thing you want to do is ask yourself, what is the reason behind your edit? What is your goal and your intention behind how you're editing today? When you can give a reason, you now give yourself direction. And that is how you start weaving in theme for your photography. And in this example that I'm doing today is from a board game called Chai. The theme behind Chai is making tea. And since it's currently summer, I figured why not do a summer palette. So the goal in this particular photo is to make viewers stop, see all those rich, vibrant, super summery colors, and lastly, make it appetizing so they just want to go out and get some nice iced tea. These are always things I'm thinking about before even editing a picture. If you just end up approaching a photo like I used to, by just thinking, I just want to make it look good, you're not gonna have a set direction, you're not gonna have organization and flow in your entire set of edits. And that's bad because it starts showing up in all of your pictures. Like for me, for instance, I used to oversaturate the greens and reds, and I ended up making couples look like they were in freaking Candyland or something. So you really want to start giving yourself direction and have a very, very specific goal in mind. Like, what do I want to do with this particular photo? Okay, so the first thing I like to do is to go straight into the tone curve. And then I like to make a S-shaped curve. So I'm gonna raise the shadows a little bit so you can see the strawberries. Drop down the tone curve a little bit so you introduce some contrast between the glass, between the water, and between all of the different intricate little subjects here. And then I'm going to raise the highlights just a tad because it's already really, really bright. And then from there, I'm gonna go into contrast, crank that up a little bit so you really define all of the water droplets. I'm going to decrease the highlights so it's not overly bright. I'm also going to raise the shadows a little bit more so I get more details in the strawberries. And then the whites also seem very, very harsh here since it is midday, so I'm going to decrease that a little bit. And I'm also going to decrease the blacks to make a little bit more contrast. If you see me going back and forth here, black really helps increase the contrast between different subjects and objects. So I'm going to drop that down, and then I'm going to go to effects. And I really want to show a lot of details in all of the shapes that water is showing here and how water is dripping off the glass and all of that. So I'm going to increase texture a ton. So see a difference here, right? So here's 0 texture, and then if I increase all the way to 50, you really define all of those details, especially if you look towards the right of the cube here. If I go from 0 to 50, you really see all those details in the water breaking part from where the cubes dropped. And then I'm also going to bring in the dehaze. So dehaze is one of my favorite tools because it helps bring back a lot of color, it helps define more texture. Now I already have a ton of details from the texture, so I'm actually going to decrease clarity a little bit. And then I want to go straight into my color palette. So it depends on your photo, but typically people like to adjust white balance in the beginning. I actually like to adjust it somewhere towards the middle. So I'm going to increase this a little bit towards the yellow side so we get that nice summery yellow. Going to decrease overall saturation by a ton because it's way oversaturated. And then I'm going to increase vibrance just a tad to bring in the less vibrant colors. So now I want to start adjusting individual colors. And to do that, I'm going to go in the top right corner of the color panel. And then here, I'm going to focus first on the blues. So I want to decrease that blue because it's way, way too saturated. And then going into the aquas, so since we are by the pool, I do want to increase that just a little bit. We're gonna leave purple alone and pink alone. And then going into split toning. So I don't tend to use split toning often, but I do like to play with it just to see how it looks. So usually I like to go to the shadows and see how it looks, maybe with like an orange aura. But it seems a little bit too strong here. I'm not the biggest fan. And then same with highlights, maybe go with the blue, but nah. Gonna leave that alone. And then to finish up the photo, what we're going to do next is go ahead and reduce all of the noise. So to do that, we're gonna go into the detail tab and then go to noise reduction. And I'm going to increase that. And you'll see how it just completely just removes a lot of that grain, especially in the ground and the tiles shown here. I'm also gonna go to color noise reduction and reduce that as well, or sorry, increase that as well. So we get less noise in the blue and in the orange tea. And then the very, very final thing is to just adjust the crop a tiny bit. So see how there's space, there's like negative space from the handle to the wall, from the handle to the edge of the photo. So I'm going to decrease that so it cuts in right there. make that even, and done. So here is the original photo, and here it is after the final edit. So a nice teal and orange sunsetty look to the summer photo. So let me know if you liked the tutorial and if you found it helpful. So if there's any particular photo that you want to see from my Instagram, go ahead and let me know, and then I can edit that for you as well. The goal here is to show you a bunch of different styles and themes so you can adjust and adapt accordingly to your own photography. And with that, thanks for joining me, and I will see you all in the next video.